My name is Angie Hyche. I'm a certified professional organizer, author, speaker, and podcaster living in East Tennessee. I've had a variety of jobs in my adult life, including education, both in elementary school and at the high school level, in medicine as a pediatric physician assistant. And I noticed in all the jobs that I've done, as well as at home, I always had a knack for and love for organizing, whether it was things or people or events. And so in 2016, I launched a professional organizing business, Shipshape Solutions. As a part of that business, I've been able to help hundreds of people bring order to their spaces at home or in their business and organize their belongings, their workflows, their time, so that they can be more efficient and enjoy their spaces. As a part of my business, from the beginning, I was writing a blog, and that blog became a monthly organizing article in two local newspapers that has continued to this day. In 2020, I published my first book, Unholy Mess: What the Bible Says About Clutter. And in January 2023, along with a co-host, I launched a podcast called Uncluttered, Shaping Your Heart and Home for What Matters Most. Both Unholy Mess and Uncluttered explore the connection between faith and order. I've been speaking as a part of my business from the beginning. I speak to groups community groups, civic groups, business groups, lots of different situations and different topics, all centered around organization, time management, productivity, and simplicity. I really love helping an audience see the consequences of disorder and the peace and freedom that order can bring. I work with clients in residential settings and in business settings. Get to know them, how their physical space is laid out, the tools that they use, how they use their time, their habits and routines, others that share those same spaces and tools, and help them see what challenges they're dealing with and then come up with solutions for those challenges by either rearranging, getting rid of things they don't need, helping them figure out different ways to go about their how they spend their time, come up with solutions so that their spaces can be more enjoyable and more efficient, more productive. When I'm speaking to an audience, I like to talk about clutter and its consequences. Normally, when we think of clutter, we're just thinking about our stuff, but it's a lot more pervasive and broad than that. Clutter is really anything that distracts us from our priorities. And it can be physical objects, but it can also be schedule clutter, like events on our calendar or tasks on our to-do list that aren't serving us well. It can also be attention clutter or mental clutter, things that we worry about and things that we try to remember, and too much time on digital devices. All of these things that keep us from being present in the moment. So I like to talk about the relationship between clutter and how it distracts us from our priorities. I inspire people to see how letting go of that clutter can give them freedom and peace, and how order and simplicity can help them live a happier, healthier, and more productive life. My signature talk is called Three Simple Steps to Organize Anything. I tell them about three simple steps: declutter, arrange, and maintain, that you can use to organize any space: closet, pantry, garage, even time. I use client stories to talk through those three simple steps, as well as to explain some basic organizing principles, like sorting like with like, having a home for everything, the Pareto principle or the 80-20 rule. So with the client stories, using the three simple steps and the basic organizing principles, I show them the process of how I get the client from the before to the after. And then the most fun part of the presentation is that attendees, either individually or in small groups, are given a client scenario with a before picture and a description of the client's environment and lifestyle, and then they play organizer. They use those three simple steps and the organizing principles and design a plan for that client. And then we come back together and they tell what their plan was and how they wanted to use the principles and the steps. And then I show the after picture and talk about what I did with them. So my signature talk for businesses is called Winning the Email and Productivity Game. I show steps with Gmail and Outlook for handling email, and then I also show some basic time management and productivity tips and tools that they can implement immediately. My signature presentation for church groups is based on my book, Unholy Mess, What the Bible Says About Clutter, and talks about the connection between faith and order and how to put those biblical principles into action.